And it is a Confession Tuesday. Local life coach Rebeccah Silence in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, with Liz being, kind of new to Confession Tuesdays and whatnot, she absolutely gets to see the dynamic that you and I have.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah, the fact that you and I have known each other since high school and teenagers and whatnot, and whatnot. And the fact is, Rebeccah and I never talk about what we're going to talk about on the air.
It's completely off board. I don't think people understand that. I don't get the emails prior to the show.
Right.
It's just completely off the cuff.
And that's by design, because I just want Rebecca's immediate reaction. That's because that's what she does when you're in a session with Rebeccah, or when you're at a training session, at a seminar. It's her gut reaction, and that's how good she is.
Yeah,
and that's why
more real.
Exactly. So inspiredresultscoach.com is the website, and of course you can go to cnykiss.com and tell us your story confidentially, and we'll share it here on the air. What I want to talk about today is actually Charlie Sheen. Okay. I want to. Do you know what's going on with him at all?
Somewhat.
Okay. He's going to be on the Today Show coming up in a few minutes, and he is going to pretty much announce that he's HIV positive.
Yep.
And one of the things, there's all these different backstories and about the fact that he has had to pay people hush money, and people are suing him because they kept it a secret, or he kept it a secret and didn't tell his partners, that he was HIV positive and all that stuff. This is going to get awkward, and I know it is. But at the same time, this is stuff that happens here. Just because it's happening out there, it happens here, and it happens here more than people know. So what I want to talk about is if someone is in a situation where, oh my gosh, I have... I come down with HIV, or oh my gosh, I come down with cancer, or whatever it is, and handling it and different ways to handle it, and having a support system, and because when that kind of thing happens, and you are proof positive because you've fought cancer over the last year, but coming down with having something like this, there's so many different things that go through your mind and how you should handle it, and there's no real blueprint,
right?
Because everyone is different, and and every disease is different. I'm kind of lumping it in, but it's an emotional thing, and I want you to talk about if you're in a situation where medically you get news that is absolutely life-changing. What's the best course of action? What's the best thing to do? And what I just want to pick your brain on that, because this is going to bring up a lot of conversations between families. Above and beyond the safe sex and the don't share needles and all that stuff. But if you are the person and you're in the doctor's office and they're like, listen, you now have XYZ, and it changes your life. Now what?
Or you lose a child, or any of these situations that just come out of the blue and hit you like a Mack truck.
Right.
They're not expected, and they happen, right? So that's important to understand, that these things do happen. People get cancer. People get HIV. Someone has to carry this disease because it is there. It's present. There is no blueprint. I would suggest that there is no right way to handle this. So what's very, very important is to listen to your intuition and your body and how you move forward. You're going to know the best way for you to handle it. I'll be honest that when I first got diagnosed with cancer and I went public pretty quick, I had some pretty negative reactions from my family members, people really close to me. They were really scared that I was going public. I think it made it more real. We hadn't dealt with it as a family yet, and I put it out there publicly. Well, for me, it was very important to be completely open, because I'm out in the community. People are going to understand there's an energetic shift. Let's just call it what it is.
Sure.
And then I wanted the love and support of as many people as I could possibly get. So let's just create the healing right out the gate. That won't be the way everyone would handle that situation.
A lot of people, it's one. I would imagine it's one of two ways. It would either be the way that you would handle it, or people would just ignore it and hope that it goes away like that, because they don't know necessarily how to deal with it. So it's either a throw it out there, or it's a suppress it,
Live
don't
in a
talk about it.
self-inflicted jail cell.
Yeah, because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to burden anybody with it, and that's probably why you got a little pushback from family and whatnot, because that's how they would have handled it as well.
But here's what's important. It was my cancer. It was my journey. So whatever you're going through, it's yours. It isn't your family's. It isn't your friends. They are going to go through it with you, right? I mean, you are a great example of someone who went through cancer with me. Probably not easy to watch, especially towards the end of the chemotherapy treatments. But the truth is, it was my disease. It was my situation. So own that. And if you're basing your decisions off of other people's reactions to you, this is only going to make a difficult situation worse.
Right.
Because you won't be able to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. You have to be able to sleep at night yourself, knowing that you did the best you could in the situation, whatever that looks like. So what I will say, though, is if there's some devastating news like this, just understand that the disease or the medical situation really isn't the problem. It's how you start thinking about the problem. Like, I caused this. I'm a failure. No one's going to love me. These thoughts are what create the tailspin of suffering. So be really careful about what you're thinking about yourself in the situation, understanding that that's going to make the pain worse or better, right? If I can beat this, I'm going to do the best I can. I have support. I'm going to journal. I'm going to go for a walk. Whatever you are thinking is going to determine the direction of your emotions. So just understand that. And then it doesn't make the situation okay. It doesn't make it okay. It's difficult. But in my experience, no one strong ever got there by things being easy, right? People who are strong got there because they overcame obstacles and they got to see who they really were. That's one of the biggest gifts I got from cancer. I got to really see who I was, laying in bed for 9 months, going through 7 surgeries and 4 months of chemotherapy. I got to see that I actually believe the work that I teach. I got to use every single tool every single day, and it really allowed me to see a side of myself that I had never had the pleasure of meeting before. I got to meet me because I had cancer. So if you can look at whatever you're going through as an opportunity to grow and heal something that the world needs to heal anyway, you just have the blessing of being a leader in healing that. It's a different way to think. Again, it doesn't make it okay or less difficult, but what are the alternatives here? You can be a victim to your circumstance, or you can lead your life through your circumstance.
A lot of people, coming down with some kind of news like that, there's fear.
Of course.
There's because no one wants to die.
But here's the thing.
And that's a sharp thing to say, but people are scared of dying. And when you get something like that and someone says to you that you have XYZ, that's the first thing. I don't want to die, and that's scary for a lot of people, and it's tough for people to maneuver and make rational decisions with that.
Well, but here's the truth, right? You're not being diagnosed with whatever it is because you did something wrong or bad. And I think people do tend to take that angle, like, how could this happen to me? Am I being punished? No. There's nothing wrong with you. Disease happens. It is just part of life. Now, yes, there is death, and yes, disease that is life-threatening can be terrifying and confronting because, well, what have I done with my life? What am I going to do now? But there is birth, and there is death, and there is rebirth all the time, right? How many people have gone through divorce? That's a death, and then there's a rebirth. So you have an opportunity to be reborn because you have this disease. There's a woman, her name is Chris Carr, and she is a vegan raw foodist teacher. She has a book called Crazy Sexy Cancer. She has had stage 4 cancer for about 12 years.
Wow.
And she took that diagnosis as an opportunity to be reborn, and now she's created a health movement that is global. She is incredibly brilliant. She is not letting stage 4 cancer destroy her life. Chemotherapy isn't an option for her type of cancer, and she has created this business and this movement that is changing lives all over the world. So you can't tell me that just because you get a diagnosis, it's game over. It's game over until it's actually the frog has croaked, right? Until that's happened, You have all kinds of life to live, and you have an opportunity every second to live it the way you want on your terms. I would encourage people to look at it as an opportunity to live life on their terms for a change instead of on everybody else's terms, trying to please people, trying to fit in. That's a bunch of crap. Don't care about fitting in ever again. Care about fitting in with you. Care about what makes sense for you. I would definitely encourage you to have a support system. Make a list of 5 to 10 people in your inner circle that you can talk to. Let them know I'm going to need you during this time. I had an incredible support system this year. Incredible. You were part of that, and thank you so much. I was able to go through vulnerably everything I had to do and be seen while it was happening. I didn't have to hide. What a gift is that? So whoever you are, whatever you're going through, you do not have to hide. You do not have to keep secrets because the truth will come out anyway. I think Charlie Sheen is incredibly brave, to be honest. And again, you didn't do anything wrong or bad. You just have an opportunity now to live your life in a way that you're proud of moving forward. So if it is something like an STD and other people were infected, clean it up, let them know so you can sleep at night. You're not the bad guy here. This is bigger than you. You didn't create the disease. Disease just exists. So how are you going to handle it, and how are you going to lead? This is a great conversation.
Local life coach Rebeccah Silence, inspiredresultscoach.com. That was incredible. That was really, really good.
Liz, I'm so glad to see you with us today.
Oh, well, thanks.
This is
I'm excited
fun.
to be here.
And I want to tell everybody, Saturday night, I'll be the keynote speaker at an event celebrating women, empowering women in Ilion at Francesca's Banquet Hall at 7.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, I'm back out there speaking. The coaching practice is in full swing. It's so much fun.
So Saturday, 7 o'clock in Ilion.
Francesca's Banquet Hall.
Love Francesca's.
Yeah.
The food is so good. Make sure you eat.
Okay.
It's so good.
I will.
You're welcome in advance.
Thank you.
Local life coach Rebeccah Silence, inspiredresultscoach.com on a Confession Tuesday. If you would like Rebeccah to address a situation that you are in confidentially here next week, just go to cnykiss.com. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, we're going to break. Come back. Big Papa Band at Kiss FM.